Before we dive in, I'd like to remind you to hit the subscribe button. Currently only 1.7% of my viewers are subscribed. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll release an exclusive special video just for you. Jack Thompson stood on the observation deck of Outpost Freedom, the human space station perched at the edge of Galactic Empire territory. The vast expanse of stars stretched out before him, a reminder of the perilous mission ahead. His mind wandered to the countless battles fought and the comrades lost. Today felt different. Today felt like a turning point. Lost in thought again, Jack? Lieutenant Sarah Evans' voice cut through his reverie. She approached, her eyes reflecting the same determination that had kept them alive through countless skirmishes. Just mentally preparing, Jack replied, managing a wry smile. What's the latest from General Lee? Sarah handed him a datapad. We've got new orders. The Empire is planning a major offensive. They think our ships are slow and outdated. It's time to prove them wrong. Jack scanned the briefing, his brows furrowing. General Marcus Lee had outlined a daring counter-strike. They were to utilize newly developed stealth technology, a last-minute gamble in their fight for survival. We leave in 2 hours, Sarah added, her voice steady. We need to brief the team and get ready. In the war room, the atmosphere was tense but focused. General Lee stood at the center, his presence commanding respect. Jack and Sarah joined the circle of officers, each one bearing the weight of humanity's hopes on their shoulders. Listen up, General Lee began, his voice gravelly from years of command. The Empire plans to attack us at dawn. They believe our ships are no match for theirs. We're going to use that arrogance against them. Our new stealth technology will allow us to infiltrate their fleet and strike where it hurts. Jack looked around at his team. Each face told a story of resilience and sacrifice. There was Lieutenant Parker, a tactical genius, Sergeant Ramirez, the best gunner in the fleet, and Dr. Hayes, their medic, always ready to patch them up and send them back into the fray. Questions? General Lee asked, his gaze sweeping the room. Just one, Jack said, stepping forward. What's our fallback if the stealth tech fails? General Lee met his eyes with a steely gaze. It won't fail. But if it does, we adapt and overcome. That's what we do. Remember, the Empire sees us as inferior. Let's show them just how wrong they are. The briefing concluded, and the team moved to their ships. Jack's heart pounded as he ran through the final checks on his fighter, the Wombat. The sleek, newly modified craft was their best hope against the technologically superior Empire ships. Sarah slid into the co-pilot seat, her fingers dancing over the controls. Ready, Jack? Ready as I'll ever be, he replied, strapping himself in. Let's make history. As the squadron launched into the void, the transition from the familiar lights of Outpost Freedom to the cold darkness of space was almost seamless. The new stealth technology engaged, rendering their ships invisible to standard Empire scans. Stay tight and maintain radio silence, Jack ordered, his voice calm despite the adrenaline coursing through him. The squadron formed up, moving as one towards the looming silhouette of the Empire's fleet. Hours passed in tense silence as they closed the distance. Finally, the Empire's flagship, Dominion, came into view. The hulking behemoth was surrounded by smaller cruisers and fighters, all oblivious to the stealthy approach of Jack's squadron. Jack's heart raced. This was it. All units, prepare to engage on my mark. Just as they reached striking distance, a proximity alarm blared. One of the Empire's patrol ships had altered course, heading directly for them. Stealth mode is faltering, Sarah reported, her voice edged with urgency. We need to act now. Jack made a split-second decision. Squadron, engage. Take out that patrol ship before it alerts the others. In a burst of coordinated action, the squadron broke formation. Laser fire lit up the darkness as they disabled the patrol ship, silencing it before it could signal the fleet. The brief skirmish was a reminder of the delicate balance they walked. One misstep could spell disaster. Good work, team, Jack said, his voice steady. Now, let's finish what we started. The mini-climax left them momentarily breathless, yet focused. They had proven their stealth capabilities and resilience. But the true test lay ahead, deep within the heart of the enemy fleet. The vast expanse of space stretched out before them, a silent witness to the impending confrontation. Jack Thompson, seated in the cockpit of his stealth fighter, felt the familiar surge of adrenaline. The mission was simple yet perilous: infiltrate the Empire's territory undetected and gather intelligence on their movements. Systems check complete, Jack. Stealth mode engaged, Lieutenant Sarah Evans' calm voice crackled through the comms. Her expertise had kept them alive on more than one occasion. Roger that, Sarah, Jack replied, his eyes scanning the array of controls and readouts. Let's move out. Maintain radio silence unless absolutely necessary. The squadron of stealth fighters slipped into the blackness, their presence masked by the latest in human technology. Jack's heart pounded as they approached the first waypoint. The Empire's patrol routes were unpredictable, and any encounter could spell disaster. Minutes ticked by, each second stretching into eternity. Suddenly, Jack's sensors picked up a faint blip. An Empire patrol ship was on an intercept course. "Squadron, hold position," Jack commanded, his voice barely a whisper. He adjusted his trajectory to avoid detection, but the patrol ship altered its course, closing in fast. "We've been spotted," Sarah's voice was tense but steady. "Their sensors are more advanced than we thought." "Engage evasive maneuvers," Jack ordered. The squadron split, each fighter darting in a different direction. Jack's hands moved with practiced precision, guiding his ship through a series of complex maneuvers designed to confuse enemy targeting systems. Despite their efforts, the patrol ship closed the distance. Its powerful beam scanners swept the area, momentarily disrupting their stealth systems. Jack's fighter shuddered as the scanners passed over it, a reminder of the precariousness of their situation. "Stealth field is fluctuating," Sarah reported, frantically working to stabilize their cloaking. Jack cursed under his breath. "We can't outrun them. Prepare for engagement." The Empire's ship loomed large on Jack's display. He could almost feel the enemy crew's confidence, their belief in the superiority of their technology. It was time to shatter that illusion. "Squadron, form up on me." "We take them head-on," Jack commanded, his voice now a steely resolve. The fighters regrouped, their movements synchronized like a well-rehearsed dance. As they closed in, the Empire's ship fired a warning shot, a searing beam of light that narrowly missed Jack's wing. He felt the heat and knew they were in range. "Engage weapons," Jack shouted. The squadron opened fire, their laser cannons unleashing a barrage of energy. The Empire's ship responded in kind, and the blackness of space lit up with the exchange. Jack's fighter weaved through the chaos, dodging enemy fire while delivering precise strikes. He targeted the patrol ship's sensor array, knowing it was their greatest threat. With a well-placed shot, the array exploded in a shower of sparks. "Direct hit." Sarah's voice was jubilant. "Their sensors are down." But the battle was far from over. The Empire's ship, though blinded, continued to fight with a tenacity that spoke of their training. Jack knew they had to end this quickly before reinforcements arrived. "Focus fire on their engines," Jack ordered. The squadron adjusted their aim, concentrating their attacks on the vulnerable thrusters. One by one, the engines succumbed to the onslaught, and the patrol ship began to drift, its power waning. "We've got them," Jack said, a hint of triumph in his voice. "Prepare to extract any useful data from their systems before we move out." As the squadron approached the crippled ship, Jack allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. They had faced the Empire's might and emerged victorious, their stealth technology proving its worth. "Jack, we've got incoming signals." "Multiple contacts," Sarah's voice cut through his thoughts. "Damn, reinforcements," Jack muttered. "Squadron, fall back to the rendezvous point. We've done enough for today." The fighters disengaged, leaving the disabled patrol ship behind. Jack's mind raced, contemplating their next move. The battle had shown the strength of their new technology, but it also highlighted the relentless nature of their enemy. As they sped away from the battle site, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The Empire would not take this defeat lightly, and the true test of humanity's resilience was yet to come. Jack Thompson stared out into the vast expanse of space from his cockpit, the stars appearing as silent witnesses to the impending battle. His fingers drummed a nervous rhythm on the console. The hum of the ship's systems provided a comforting background noise, a constant reminder of the advanced technology that now cloaked them from enemy sensors. "Ready, Sarah?" Jack asked, glancing at his co-pilot, Lieutenant Sarah Evans, who was meticulously checking the stealth system. "Good to go, Jack," Sarah replied, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the tension in the air. "Just remember, this tech is new. We're the first to test it in real combat." Jack nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. "All right, team," he said into the comms, addressing his squad. "We're approaching the target. Stick to the plan, and remember, we're relying on stealth and surprise." As they neared the Empire's flagship, the hulking behemoth loomed larger on their screens, its sleek design and intimidating size a testament to the Empire's technological superiority. Jack's heart pounded. They were the underdogs, the slow human ships. But today, they had an edge. Activating stealth mode, Sarah announced, her fingers flying over the controls. The ship's hum shifted to a quieter pitch, and the exterior cameras showed their vessel blending seamlessly with the surrounding space. "Hold formation," Jack instructed. The squadron moved like shadows, closing in on the unsuspecting flagship. The plan was simple yet daring: disable the command center and sow chaos among the Empire's fleet. The moment stretched, each second a test of patience and nerves. Jack's eyes flicked over the readouts, ensuring everything was in place. "Prepare for infiltration," he said. "Sarah, you're with me. The rest of you, provide cover and create distractions if necessary." They docked silently with the flagship's underbelly, attaching their ship like a leech. Jack and Sarah moved swiftly, their suits rendering them nearly invisible. They entered the access hatch, navigating the labyrinthine corridors with practiced efficiency. "Stay sharp," Jack whispered. The halls were eerily quiet, the soft hum of the ship's core the only sound. They reached the central control room, the heart of the Empire's operations. Sarah hacked the door's security panel, her face illuminated by the screen's glow. "Almost there." Jack's grip tightened on his blaster. The door slid open, revealing a room filled with consoles and holographic displays. Empire officers were stationed at various points, oblivious to the intruders. Jack signaled Sarah, and they moved in. With precise, synchronized actions, they placed explosive charges at key points. The tension was palpable, each second bringing them closer to discovery. "Charges set," Sarah confirmed, her voice steady. Jack nodded. "On my Mark 3, 2, 1. They detonated the charges, the room erupting in chaos. Consoles exploded, sparks flying, and officers scrambling. Jack and Sarah took advantage of the confusion, neutralizing the few who posed a threat. "Mission accomplished," Jack said, a grim satisfaction in his voice. "Let's get out of here." As they retraced their steps, the ship shuddered violently. "They're onto us," Sarah warned, her eyes wide. "We need to move, now." They sprinted through the corridors, the sounds of alarms blaring and heavy footsteps echoing behind them. Reaching their ship, they barely had time to secure themselves before launching away from the flagship. "Engage evasive maneuvers," Jack shouted into the comms. His squad responded immediately, their ships weaving through the flurry of defensive fire from the Empire's fleet. The Empire, caught off guard, struggled to regroup. Jack's squad capitalized on the disarray, delivering precise strikes to critical points on the enemy vessels. "Keep it up," Jack encouraged. "We've got them on the ropes." As the flagship continued to falter, the Empire's fleet began to retreat. Jack's heart soared with the realization of their success. "We did it," he breathed, looking at Sarah, who gave him a triumphant smile. But their victory was not without cost. The human ships, despite their newfound stealth capabilities, were still outmatched in firepower. Jack knew this was only the beginning. "Regroup at Outpost Freedom," he ordered. "This battle is ours, but the war is far from over." As they set course for home, Jack couldn't help but think of the challenges ahead. Their success had bought them time, but the Empire would not rest. They would come back stronger, and humanity needed to be ready. The Empire's fleet was in disarray, a scattered constellation of damaged ships and panicked transmissions. Jack Thompson's squad, having disabled the Empire's flagship, now pressed their advantage. Jack's heart pounded with a mix of adrenaline and grim determination as he navigated his ship through the chaos, issuing commands with unwavering authority. "Sarah, target their propulsion systems. We need to keep them from regrouping," Jack ordered, his voice steady despite the intensity of the battle. "On it," replied Lieutenant Sarah Evans, her fingers flying over the controls. The ship's advanced targeting system locked onto an enemy cruiser, and moments later, a barrage of missiles streaked through the void, striking the cruiser's engines with pinpoint accuracy. The ship shuddered and drifted, powerless. As Jack scanned the battlefield, he spotted Admiral Zola's personal vessel, still intact and attempting to rally the remaining Empire forces. Jack's eyes narrowed. This was the moment to strike decisively. "Squad, form up on me. We're going after Zola," Jack commanded. The remaining ships in his squad fell into formation, their pilots responding with the precision born of countless hours of training and shared hardship. They approached Zola's vessel, weaving through the debris of shattered ships. The Admiral's ship loomed larger, its sleek lines and heavy armament a testament to the Empire's might. But today, Jack knew, it would be the symbol of their downfall. "Prepare for boarding," Jack said, his voice cold and resolute. "We're taking Zola alive." Sarah glanced at him, concern flickering in her eyes. "Are you sure, Jack? It's risky." "I'm sure. We need to show them that we're not just fighting for survival, we're fighting to win." With their stealth technology activated, Jack's ship docked unnoticed with Zola's vessel. The boarding party, led by Jack and Sarah, moved swiftly through the corridors, encountering sporadic resistance. The Empire soldiers, though well-trained, were no match for the ferocity and determination of Jack's team. They reached the command center, the doors sliding open to reveal Admiral Zola, a figure of imposing stature and cold arrogance. He turned, eyes widening with surprise and fury as he saw Jack. "So, the humans think they can challenge the Empire?" Zola sneered, drawing his weapon. Jack's response was swift and unyielding. "The time for underestimating us is over." He lunged, disarming Zola with a well-placed strike. The Admiral staggered back, his confidence shattered. "Secure him," Jack ordered, and Sarah stepped forward, binding Zola's hands with energy cuffs. As the remaining Empire forces began to withdraw, news of Zola's capture spread through the human fleet. Cheers erupted over the comms, the morale of the human forces soaring to unprecedented heights. Back on Outpost Freedom, Jack and his team were greeted as heroes. The hangar was filled with jubilant soldiers and technicians, all eager to celebrate the unexpected victory. Jack disembarked, his gaze sweeping over the crowd before settling on General Marcus Lee, who stood at the forefront, pride evident in his eyes. "You did it, Jack," Lee said, clasping Jack's shoulder. "You've given us a chance." Jack nodded, a weary smile tugging at his lips. "It was a team effort. We all played our part." Sarah joined them, her expression both triumphant and reflective. "We've won a battle, but the war is far from over." "Indeed," Lee agreed, his tone sobering. "But this victory shows that we can stand against the Empire. It's a message they won't forget." As the celebrations continued, Jack found a quiet corner to reflect. The cost of victory weighed heavily on him, the lives lost, the friends who would never return. Yet, amidst the sorrow, there was hope. They had proven their strength, their resilience. The fight for humanity's future was far from over, but today, they had taken a significant step forward. Jack's thoughts were interrupted by a call from the command center. "Commander Thompson, Incoming transmission from the Empire. They're demanding the return of Admiral Zola. Jack's jaw tightened. Tell them he's our prisoner of war. If they want him back, they'll have to negotiate. The officer nodded, relaying the message. Jack turned to Sarah, his resolve hardening. This is just the beginning. We need to prepare for their retaliation. Sarah smiled, a fierce light in her eyes. We will. And we'll be ready. The chapter ended with Jack gazing out at the stars, the weight of leadership and the promise of a new dawn ahead. The Empire had underestimated humanity for the last time. Now, the real fight for freedom had begun.